This is GamerFeed Radio DLC edition.
I was like, my head was down.
It always starts with you and a head thing and laughing. Even on the podcast.
Well, I don't do the head thing
like,
or the podcast starts with the raining. Making it rain.
Yeah.
Thing.
It's choreographed very well. We're all trained.
Oh, that we can't show them too much.
No.
Let's not get ahead of
behind the scenes.
So on this week's episode, we're talking about epic gaming accomplishments. Any time in a game where you did something and you're just like, that was awesome.
Yes.
What you got?
I have a great one, but it's really spoiler heavy. But in Alien Isolation, there's a part about halfway through the game where it's like a flashback. I don't want to spoil it, but if you've ever played Alien Isolation and you get through that flashback scene, you'll know what I'm talking about. That's one of the coolest moments I've ever played in the game, and it really solidified that game as like one of the best licensed games I've ever played, if not the best.
So is that like, is it an accomplishment in the sense?
No, it's not. But it's one of the coolest things I've ever done.
So you know, if you get there, you're something special.
It's one of the best feelings I've ever had playing a game.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, it's so good. If you like the Alien movies at all, and even the tiniest bit, you gotta play Alien Isolation. Because that part in the game makes it worth all hours of frustration with the alien killing you in one hit. Okay. But my actual favorite gaming accomplishment is in the game Outlast, first-person horror games, which you know I love.
I've heard you mention it before.
Have I ever mentioned first-person horror games?
Why am I
anything
always in the
GamerFeed
middle?
related? Outlast, it's a game with a first person. You're in a mental hospital. You're trying to dig and get clues. You're a video journalist and you videotape things.
That's so appropriate for you.
Yeah, sure. But one of the achievement or trophies, and it's on all versions of the game, is to beat the entire game on insane mode. And insane mode is the highest difficulty, and if you die once, you get sent back to the beginning of the game. Oh, man. So when I beat that game in one sitting, without dying on the hardest difficulty, that's one of my best.
How long of a time commitment is that?
Oh, it took me... I'm
really,
really good
hours?
at that game. No, it was like a 55-minute.
Wow.
Oh, really?
It only takes a long time. It's a 6-hour game.
You need to learn it first, and then
I know that game inside. I could literally beat like half of that game blindfolded. Okay. I know it so well. I know every single enemy placement in the route. It's one of my favorite games on PS4, really. If you didn't get it for free on PlayStation Plus, I'd highly recommend it. I think it's $20. But that is my number one trophy I've ever gotten, was beating the game on insane mode.
Excellent.
Try to beat that.
Well, I have nothing nearly as intense as that, although I thought it was at the time. So way, way, way back in the day, as many have heard us talk about, me especially, Kyle to a certain extent.
We like nostalgia here.
Final Fantasy VII, when it first came out across the 17,000 discs that it was.
I wondering what your hand's doing down there.
Was a once you got outside of Midgar and moved on to the second disc, you really thought you had achieved something, and only to discover that it really just started. So for me, the way I play those kinds of games, and I still do this, I go straight through. I don't necessarily play all the stupid mini games. I don't care about the side quests. I just want the story. I want the main story with the main characters. I want to go all the way through. I do try to get all the characters unlocked, so there's a little bit, but I don't do any of that. I just go at the game and go all the way straight through. So in Final Fantasy VII, as many people already are aware, the end battle is like 3 phases of Doom. It takes forever, unless you have Knights of the Round, which you have to get the gold chocobo, and you have to do all the stupid little mini games to get it, and then you get the the Knights of the Round, and you just go through, and then you can equip this gauntlet, Genji arms or something like that, that lets you do the attack 4 times in a row. So you can do 9 times 12 times 4 times, and you just win in like minutes. That's what it is. You win in minutes. I didn't go through any of that crap. So for me, starting with Genova, then going to Sephiroth, and then going down to the end, was like a 55-minute battle royale. I think I was level 35 or 36. Mind you, there are people... I think if you do just minimal side questing and get Knights of the Round, your minimum level is like 54 or 55 or something like that. So I'm half that. And I mean, I went in and just got, totally pwned by the computer. And, Genova's like... with all those weird noises and tentacles and things. It was very frustrating.
I actually don't know, because I've never played this game. But
I can't believe you just announced that on the
worldwide
interwebs.
I'm not a JRPG person at all.
It's
Except for
We know-
Golden Sun.
We
Golden
know
Sun
this
is
about Brad. He
amazing.
likes horror games.
Yeah, I like
weird.
Have I told you about first-person horror?
Stop, we can't be friends.
PT
We
game of the
can't
year.
be friends. So, anyway, the accomplishment was actually doing that at like 35 or 36, whatever level it was, real low, and getting to see the beautiful 20-minute cutscene at the end of the game is impossibly awesome.
20 minutes. Get on my level. man.
Amazing!
Gear
Amazing.
fanboy. Call me when you get through a 90-minute cutscene in Metal Gear Solid 4.
That's a movie. That's not even a game. Anyway, yours.
For me, I'm going with. I just got done playing Dragon Age Inquisition. For me, I'm going with Dragon Slaying. Like each and every one, but especially
You said that the one that I remember when you beat the first one and you told everybody, you're like, God, that's
first one
forever."
was. Oh man, it was such. It was such. Because there's nothing else like it in the game. None of the other mobs, none of the bosses, nothing else comes close to one of these dragons. And you have to go out and slay 10 of them. And the first one, you have no idea what's going on. You just stumble across it. I didn't even get the quests that led me to dragon slaying yet by the time I got it. I just figured, well, I can, I'm a level over this thing now. I should be able to take it. And I went into its little clearing, and it torched me, and then it did flybys, and it stood up on the cliff, and it was rough, but I did it a few times. I rearranged my party. I got the right magic that I needed to use on it. I learned its attack pattern, all of that, and I was finally able to down it. And then even after that, through the rest of the game, even though I had leveled up, these things are tuned so well that even if you're over leveled for them, they can still be a challenge.
Of course.
There was
great.
one I was fighting that I was 7 or 8 levels higher than, but I was still having a rough time with it because it's fought in a marsh area, and it kept electrifying the water because it's electric.
Clever beast.
So I kept having to avoid, change my attack patterns up and all that. But I mean, just downing one of those bastards was so rewarding, particularly after a 20-25 minute fight in basically a hack and slash. I mean, we're used to that in a big raid or something like that, where
Sure.
it's you're a multi-team, multi-people on your team sort of thing. But if it's just you just hacking away at this thing and trying to manage your cooldowns and trying to not run out of potions and all of that, it was a really big feeling for me.
Excellent. I think that is an awesome accomplishment, unlike this guy.
Oh, get out! Get out! Man.
Anything else on the topic? Other big accomplishments? Anything else to wrap? All right. So, you heard it. What are yours? Post in the comments. Tell everybody. Subscribe on YouTube. Tell your friends. Again and again and again until you can't stop telling them. Why aren't you pointing at the screen? Everybody else is doing it. Until next time. Later. Idiots.
We were both retards.